Welcome to our mountains. I'm Rhonda Brashear.
I'm Dean Osborne.
And I'm Joel Brashear, and we want to tell you about something that we all three were involved in recently. It was an event we held here in Leslie County called Local Treasures. It was a fundraiser for the Leslie County Community Foundation, which is a part of the Foundation for Appalachia, Kentucky, which we've told you about on the show before. And it was just a wonderful night, wasn't it, Dean?
We had a great time, and one of the best things that came out of that night, as the director of the Kentucky School of Bluegrass and Traditional Music, I was awarded a $1,500 grant to go towards some projects that we're doing at the school. And in this day and time, it's much needed and much appreciated. It'll allow our school to go forward.
And I guess my favorite part was when we honored some really wonderful volunteers from right here in the area. And right here is one of them, Miss Barbara French.
Originally from Illinois, Springfield, and that's where I did my nurse's training. And then I went up to Minnesota for a year to the university, and my roommates there wanted to go to New York City, so I went out to New York City with them. I'm this country kid that, but anyway, worked out there for a year and a half, and then I had read about the Frontier Nursing Service in history of nursing. And so I thought, well, that would be different, and so that's how I got down to Kentucky.
For over 50 years, Miss French has been serving the people of this community.
I've been in Leslie County since 1961. The Frontier Nursing Service interested me, and I came to work there, and then did the midwifery class and stayed around and went to the Wolf Creek Center. Stayed there for a year and a half, and I came to Cutchin Clinic in the Mission in February of 1964.
Miss French says it's the folks that visit her clinic every day that makes her job so special.
Well, I enjoy people, so I like being involved with people, and over the years I've treated a whole bunch. There's at least 3 families that I've treated 6 generations. So and on 2 I think it's a husband, and there's a husband and wife in there that it makes for 2 of them. But there's 2 or 3 that I've found out that I've treated 6 generations. I knew I had treated 5.
Along with her work at the clinic, Miss French has taught Sunday school to hundreds of Cutchin children over the years.
I started I came here in '64. I started teaching preschoolers, taught them a couple of years. Somebody else wanted to, moved up to 1st and 2nd grade. Somebody else wanted that age, moved up to the 3rd and 4th. So I've been teaching since '64.
When asked about what kept her in Leslie County all these years, she credits the waters of the Middle Fork.
Well, they say once you drink of the waters of the Middle Fork, if you leave, you'll come back or you'll stay. And I got a good drink.
In addition to her work at the Mission, Miss French was instrumental in starting the Cutchin Volunteer Fire Department.
Lucy Scott and I and Glenn Hendricks and Cecil Lewis Jr. were some of the founding members of the Cutchin Volunteer Fire Department. So that was in 1982, and so I made the mistake of taking notes for the first meeting and got elected secretary, and nobody else has wanted it, so I've been the secretary ever since.
Establishing a fire department for this region was important because it was so far removed from other fire departments.
By the time Hayden would get here, they were the first ones. And by the time they would get here, you would save the chimney. Now, sometimes we only save the chimney.
Fortunately, fires are not very common in this section of the county.
We don't have many fires. We've had some bad accidents that fact is, one bad one, even before we had the fire department. A VW ran over the hill and hit a tree just about a half mile below us, and only one survived out of the 4 that was there, and that was before we had ambulance service, period.
Having ambulances available to the Cutchin community has saved countless lives.
We could be to Hyden by the time the Hyden ambulance got out to us and back, so we decided we'd start with that.
Miss French says she's seen a lot of change on the Cutchin Creek over her years living there.
Well, of course, we've had more modern conveniences. We have, as we say, city water. The telephone in '64 was, well, I think we were on a party line of 4 to 6 and on the party line, and so sometimes that got a little, we had one old lady that often missed hanging it up, and so you would, and then you'd hear her talking to herself, and then you'd have to go over and say, hang up your phone. She just lived across the way, so.
Unfortunately, all of these changes have not been for the better.
Well, the worst change is the drug problem. That used not to be, well, you'd have some, in the early days you had some stills in the area, and then there was the marijuana, but this other stuff it's bad news.
But she is very hopeful for the future.
Oh, the communities, I think, are pretty close, and they work together. The people are very friendly, and they're wanting, most of them are wanting to improve their county.
There is one thing she would like to see change, however.
Well, the sad thing is that you can't be born in Leslie County anymore. And Mrs. Breckenridge would be very upset about that. But that I can't do anything about.
But no matter what, Miss French will be calling Leslie County her home for years to come.
I'm not planning, when I retire, I'm not planning to leave.
Miss French, you are truly a local treasure.
Folks, Local Treasures was such a wonderful night. Now we're going to have even more videos from that event on the folks that we honored in the upcoming shows that we're going to do. And if you'd like to know more about what's going on with the Foundation for Appalachia, Kentucky, check out their website. They're doing great work all across this region, and that address is there on your screen. Now when we come back, we're going to show you a group that I know you're going to love. They're called the Wooks, and they're coming up right after this. Don't go anywhere.
At Frontier Nursing University, our mission is to educate nurse midwives and nurse practitioners through distance education. With 75 years in Kentucky, our students and graduates have a passion for personalized care for women and families. Do you share this passion? Visit frontier.edu.
When we asked Arthur Hancock where he got the name for his band, he told us a few years ago he and a buddy were very hairy and they were called the Wookie Brothers. Well, now you can see that the band has gotten larger and the hair and the name much shorter. Here they are, the Wooks.
Hey y'all, we're the Wooks and this is County Girl. Holds down the bar with a shine in her eye. She tells me her stories, she laughs and she cries. We sit and we talk for hours on end. She's working so hard, but she swears she can win the race. But she's miles
What a great song from Arthur and the Wooks. When we come back, Miss Rhonda's in the kitchen whipping up the best cheesecake you ever ate. Stay tuned.
One voice, unifying banking in Kentucky, our Commonwealth. We are the Kentucky Bankers Association. We are the KBA. The KBA is a nonprofit trade organization that has been providing legislative, compliance, education, and vendor solutions to its member institutions since 1891. The KBA's directors and staff work together with its members to make the financial services industry in Kentucky a more effective and successful place to work. The mission of the KBA is to provide effective advocacy for banks in Kentucky and on a national level. We strive to serve as a reliable and responsive source of information and education about areas of interest to the Kentucky banker. The strength of the Kentucky Bankers Association is bankers unifying as an industry to speak as one voice. With one voice, we are a Commonwealth.
Welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to make a cheesecake that I think is the best in the world. You do a few extra little things to this and it comes out really, really good. Now, some of the things I have done today, you don't normally do in a cheesecake, but if you want an extra special crust, here's what you need to do. I made some shortbread cookies a couple days ago and I found out that they make a wonderful crust. So they have so much butter in them already, you don't need to add any extra butter. Just crumble them up, 3 or 4, however many it takes to cover the bottom of your pan, your springform pan, and then you're going to just press it down really good. And you can see here that it's crumbly, but it does hold together really well. I'm going to add one more for extra goodness. Just crumble those up and pat them down. You notice on the outside of this springform pan, I have got several layers of aluminum foil. Well, the reason for that is I'm going to put this in a bath in the oven in just a few minutes, and that will keep the water from seeping into the springform pan. The bath, the hot water bath, just helps your cheesecake not to crack and to cook more consistently. So I think that's done. Good crust. Quick and easy with your cookies. I've also used Girl Scout cookies before. Of course, your graham cracker crumbs, that's perfectly okay too. So I'm going to start with a clean bowl. I have 4 packages of room temperature cream cheese. Put those in. And I'm going to start mixing this. Having it room temperature makes it just go a little easier. Mix all that down in. I'm going to mix in a 1/2 cup of sour cream. And 1 1/4 cups of sugar. And let's blend this till it's smooth. Start it on low. You don't want to mess in your kitchen. And I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of real vanilla. One, 2. I like to use this vanilla paste, vanilla bean paste. It just tastes really, really good, and it shows a few specks of your vanilla bean, which looks kind of cool. Now, while you're making your filling, you want to preheat your oven to 475 degrees and put a pan in there. I use a skillet. Put something that will hold this springform pan, and you're going to put about a ½ inch of water in your skillet. By the time that you get your filling done, it's going to be preheated and your water should be boiling in the oven. Then immediately you're going to set your timer for 12 minutes. So let's finish putting this in here. Now I'm going to add 5 eggs, one at a time, or best I can. One. And just fold them in. You don't want to beat them, just fold them in very gently. That's 1. Room temperature. And that's 2. And 3. 4. And the last one. Just fold them in on low until the yellow of your egg, the yolk, breaks. And then I'm going to stop my mixer. And use my spoon just to scrape down the sides one more time and gently fold it all in. Make sure all the eggs are folded in and that your cream cheese is all blended. Got a few lumps in there, but that's okay. Very good. Now I'm going to pour this into my springform pan on top of the crust. Now here comes a tricky part. It's very hot in that oven, 475 degrees. You don't want to get burned, so just be very careful when you place this inside that hot skillet with the boiling water. Okay, you want to make sure that it's level. Best you can do. Now set your timer for 12 minutes. When the timer ends, reduce your heat to 350 degrees and bake it for another 50 to 60 minutes. Don't overbake it. You need to keep a watch on it. When it starts turning just golden brown, you need to remove it from the oven and put it in the refrigerator. Now at this point you can put it in for 3 or 4 hours or overnight, but just let it sit up really, really well. So here's the cheesecake, cooled. I took it out of the springform pan after it cooled, and to make it extra specially luscious, I'm going to add just a little bit more sour cream and sugar, and we're going to glaze the top. And then it's ready to eat. Do I have any volunteers who want to taste this cheesecake? I think I've got some grandchildren standing by, and we're going to cut this and let them taste it. Oh, it looks creamy. It looks creamy. Oh, it does. Okay. Who wants to be first? Chloe. All right. Big bite. Trip. Make this today. You'll love it. It's great for birthdays, holidays, any day. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Passion, personalized care, and a mission to serve women and families in Kentucky. We are Frontier Nursing University. Through distance education and clinicals in your own community, become a nurse midwife and share your passion for women and family care. Visit frontier.edu.
Welcome back to Our Mountains. You know, shape note style singing has a deep and rich culture here in the mountains. we're going to feature a song by the Voices of Appalachia called Wayfaring Stranger. Now this song's been on our show several times, but this is the first time we've had it in the shape note style singing. Give it a listen.
I'm just a going over home. I'm just a poor, I'm just a stranger, traveling through. And there's no sin, and there's no danger, that bright world to which I go. I'm going there to see my Father. I'm going there no more to roam. I'm going over Jordan. I'm going home. I'm just a poor, I'm just a stranger, traveling through. But there's no sin, and there's no danger, that bright world to which I go. I'm going there to see my mother. I'm going there no more to roam. I'm going over Jordan. I'm going home. I'm just a going over home. I'm just a going home. I'm just a going home. I'm just a poor stranger, traveling through a traveling world. But there's no sin, but there's no danger in that bright world to which I go. I'm going there. I'm going to see my Savior. I'm going there no more to roam. I'm just a I'm going over Jordan. I'm just a going over home. I'm going home. I'm going home. I'm going home.
Well, folks, you probably noticed that the choir there was sitting in a square shape as they were performing. Richard tells me that's how the old shape note choirs would perform. Now, as pretty as that was to listen to, it was pretty hard to film, let me tell you. But we're going to have another shape note song in an upcoming episode. But don't go anywhere. There's still more on this episode to come right after this. Our Mountains is sponsored by Frontier Nursing University, Pioneers for Healthcare. The Kentucky Bankers Association. More than banks, they're your neighbors.
The Foundation for Appalachian Kentucky, inspiring charitable giving, investing in our communities.
Well, we had a great time this week doing the cheesecake and the local treasures and hearing all that great music. Don't you think, Dean?
I think so. You know, when we started talking about local treasures, I was thinking about going to my backyard with a shovel, but I'll leave that to Jesse and Royce. You know, the music was great and the cheesecake was great as well. All around a good week.
It was.
I don't think we'll get any better than that.
Yeah. Y'all have a great week. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
And we're gonna have another shape note song in a show. Oh, I had it, it was there. Now I know you pull out my teeth because I have it and then I lose it.